Your homework tonight is you will be completing a DBQ. We are going to plan it in class. We are going to begin writing it. It is your responsibility to finish writing it tonight for homework. The faster we go in class, the faster you will finish tonight for homework. Tomorrow when you come in, you will be picking up crayons and you will be color coding another person's essay. So what will be incredibly evident that if you don't do, I will know immediately, just like how I checked your work today, yes? Remember, I am not kind, I am not generous, and I have no patience for people showing up unprepared during writing week. Is everyone clear on that? So, tonight you're going to finish your DBQ on your own. Hopefully we get a big head start today. Right now everyone needs a couple sheets of paper out in front of them. We have a lot to do. So, first thing is we're going to talk about a DBQ. We checked our answers this morning on during our do now. Now that we've kind of checked your answers, hopefully you got some guidance. Hopefully it will work out beneficial. So put this in a notebook wherever. This is your basic instructions here. So writing a DBQ. What does DBQ stand for? I don't know if I've been really clear about this. Tristan. Document-based question. As you saw yesterday, you had 7 primaries for this specific one. Those are your documents. Then you have to shape them into an argument, which is what we're going to start with today after we finish this. So, your first paragraph is your thesis paragraph. Okay? So, in this paragraph, you are explaining your argument and restating the prompt. Sam, can you do me a favor? Can you open that door? And if there's a desk in the way, can you ask that kid to get up so I can leave that door open? Yeah, I gotta have that door open. Is Lasher there? Is there an adult in the room? Cool. So they're just sitting in there? Yep. Cool. Okay, explaining your argument and restating the prompt. You will have three reasons / explanations. He has to do this during writing me? Like, are you kidding me? To support your answer. Okay. Please notice that there is no contextualization. There is no other BS in the beginning of a DBQ. Do you see that? You're simply restating the prompt and you are listing your 3 groups, and that is all. Okay? So it's pretty straightforward in this, but that means your paragraphs below are going to get significantly more complex. Your second paragraph, you're going to restate the thesis, focusing on the first reason and explanation. You will explicitly state the docs, the historical perspective, purpose, and synthesis of each doc used. You will include three pieces of outside information, and you will connect this grouping. To another historic example. Hi, you're welcome. Third paragraph. In quotes, second reason / explanation. Oh, I'm sorry. Fourth paragraph. Third reason / explanation. Okay. If you have time, and you're going to write a big if. Time. You can write a conclusion. They will score it for points. So if you have time and you have a little bit left, or you write your DBQ and then you have a couple minutes after you finish your LEQ and you want to see if you can get a couple extra points somewhere, writing a conclusion works. If you tie it to something else, you stumble on a point, you fall on your face, and you trip on a point, they'll score it still. Does that make sense? However, if you are running out of time and you have overused your time, should you write a conclusion? No, you go straight to the LEQ. Now, I'm going to put a big star. You can leave out one document. There's one document you just don't get, or there's just no way you can find a home for it. You can leave it out. Okay? What? Yeah, you can. Well, you should be putting your synthesis as you go. For every doc, you're connecting it to something else.
Yeah, I'm just, so it would be like an extra synthesis or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just in case you stumbled somewhere else, you can pick up points here. Okay? Because there's a lot of points coming and going, and there's a lot of points you're not going to get. There's also a lot of points you are going to get. So if you happen to trip on something in your synthesis, it'll work. Okay? Now, keep in mind, this has to be done. This whole list right up here, this whole section right here, you will explicitly include. This needs to be done. Here, I'm going to highlight it because I can and make it easier for you to see. This needs to be done for every document you talk about, which means in this document, in this DBQ, you have 7 documents. You can leave one out, which means how many times are you doing this? You're doing this 6 times for every document. Okay, so there's a lot of content that is going into this DBQ. So keep that in mind. All right, here we go. So we've looked at all of our documents. We've analyzed them. We've done our happy. We've taken them. So we've done the basic parts of a DBQ. Now we have to get in the sophistication of it. Now looking back at our prompt, using the documents provided in your knowledge of world history, analyze Han and Roman attitudes towards technology. So now we have to group our documents into 3 groups that show Roman and Han appearance, or what they agree with. So what you're going to write on your back, you're going to draw 3 columns, 3 boxes. On the first, it's going to be our groups. Then we have our docs. Then we have our summary. Now what we have to do is we have to group our documents, okay, that have some sort of cohesiveness to build an argument that we're going to defend through our DBQ, remembering what our prompt is. Using your documents provided your knowledge of world history, analyze Han and Roman attitudes towards technology. All right, what are some groups we can put these documents in? By the way, positive viewpoints on a group called positive and negative is never accepted. Does that make sense? And never ever accepted. So, what's the name of a group that we can put these documents in? Now, at the bottom of your page, you're going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why did I just write out these numbers? That's the number of documents. So every time I put a document in a group, what am I going to do? Mark it off, because I got to streamline the process. I have to use 6 out of the 7 at least. If I use 7 and I mess up one document, guess what? I now have a buffer document that I can still score points with. Does that make sense? So ideally, what is the best thing to do to be safe? Do all 7 documents, or all the documents given, because that gives you more of a cushion. All right. Here we go. The faster you move, the faster I move, the better your life is. All right. What is a group that we can put these documents into? Savannah? No, that's a terrible grouping. It's very limited. Will not give you much ability to argue anything. Why?
Pro technology?
No, we just talked about how that's a shitty idea. No. We literally just talked about how that is a terrible way to group them. Cheyenne?
Technology achievements.
Technology achievements? No.
Maybe like Roman's pro technology? Versus like con pro technology?
No, that's... Guys, there is no pro and con. There is no one thing's better than other. What are other ways they've used this technology? Sam? Government sponsored is a great grouping. Government sponsored. Perfect. We understand how this is much more complex than saying pro technology. Yes? It is easier to defend, it is much more dynamic, and we can provide a ton of evidence to support how government's been supporting things. So now look at your documents and tell me what documents are government sponsored. Okay, what do you got, Sydney? 4. Is 4 correct? Is it government sponsored? Perfect. We got document 4. Wyatt?
7.
7. Is document 7 government sponsored? Hello, I'm asking you. Yes, perfect. What else? Sharon.
1.
I don't have 1 down. Do you want to use 1? We can put 1. It's technically government sponsored. Okay? All right. What is another group? Because we need to have 3 groups. We can't put them all into one group. We have to spread it out. You need at least 2 documents per group. Okay? So some of these we've already written. We may write down in another group, scratch it out. So things are changing. What is another topic or grouping we can use to discuss these documents? Government sponsored is a great group. What's another one that we can pull out? Matthew.
Maybe messages to high officials.
Messages to high officials? No. We're looking at it in a more complex way. Not just, these are letters. These are poems. No. Potter.
Individual intentions.
Individual intentions?
Inventions.
Inventions. No. No. Saran.
Water technology.
Seems awfully limiting, don't you think?
Well, there are.
No. Ayla. Bureaucratic viewpoints is a lot more sophisticated. Can we agree? Bureaucratic. What do you mean by viewpoints?
Well, like for document 5, it talks about like how they view like maybe the Lakers like not the Lakers so it's like fair. I'm saying that really.
How about we cross it off, and how about we look at it as an socioeconomic status. How's that? Is that better? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so socioeconomic status I think will be better. Okay, what documents can we put in a grouping for socioeconomic status? Tristan? 2 and 5. Let's look at 2. Does 2 work? Can we throw in socioeconomic status for 2? Yes, perfect. What about 5? 5 works? Perfect. Okay, now we need another group. So we got government-sponsored, socioeconomic status. What else we got? What do you got, Emma?
I noticed that both of the remaining documents are talking about something that happened in the past. But I don't know how to word them. Maybe like historically.
So we got rid of, what documents are we left with?
3 and
6.
3 and 6. All right, let's look at 3. What's Sam? Okay, continuous advancements. How about that for a group? Hello? Does that work? Okay, continuous advancements. Okay, and it's 2 and 6. Is it 1 and 6? 3 and 6. Just kidding. Okay, so we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, we have 6, and we have 7. Perfect. Do you see why we have the numbers at the bottom? To make sure we've used our documents. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to come up with a super brief summary of what we're looking for. So looking at documents 4, 7, and 1, we talk about group sponsored. What is the goal of this group to show? Tristan? Governments wanted more public support. So they issued. So they pursued technology to gain public support. Perfect. Okay, when we talk about socioeconomic status, what are we talking about? Yeah.
Like classified and how like maybe how like privileged they are.
Okay, hold on. Look at document 2 and document 5. Document 2, is document 5 saying that everyone should be, document 5 talking about the positives of working with technology? No, so you have to be careful of how you use it. So what is socioeconomic status talking about here, Ayla?
The governments can use
No,
technology.
you can't talk about governments. It's economic status, so be careful. Yeah?
Given how like how it affects the amount of technology they have access to.
Different cultural standards. Varied on their opinion. Of whose responsibility? It was to improve the everyday lives. Would we agree? Document 2 talks about how it's everyone's responsibilities, especially the upper class. Document 5 says it's definitely not the wealthy people. They're supposed to be dealing with arts and culture, yes? Do we agree? Cool. Alright, continuous advancements, document 3 and 6. How can we summarize that? Sam? By building up technology, civilizations grew into more complex and more sophisticated. How's that sound? Is that okay? Yes? No?
I was thinking more along the lines of like just focusing on like the technological advancements of those previously mentioned. They don't really talk about how the civilization developed.
Okay. So and more technologically dependent. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. Dependent. Perfect. All right. Here we go. So we have read through our documents. We have reread our prompt. We are then grouped our documents. Can you see this is incredibly important? This is your whole essay. We've already planned it out for you. Okay? Then you actually transition to the actual writing portion. Now keep in mind, I'm going to have my little writing a DBQ right in front of me so I know exactly how to do it. Okay? Remember, it starts by explaining your argument and restating the prompt. Okay? During period 2. During period 2, the Han and the Roman attitudes towards technology varied. During period 2, the Han and Romans' attitudes towards technology varied by the degree of government involvement, socio-economic status, and its own continuous advancements. Within a society. Okay? Hopefully, period. Hopefully you just saw I declared my time period. I restated the prompt, the Han and Romans' attitudes towards technology varied by, and I just made our groupings sound like they belong together. Does that make sense? That's all we've done. Congratulations, you finished your thesis. Okay, now we're going to paragraph 2, restate the thesis focusing on the first reason and explanation. Okay, during period 2, the Han and the Romans attitudes towards technology varied by the degree of government in government involvement in their respective regions. Okay? All I've done is literally shine up and just focus on one of the attributes we're talking about, one of the groups. Everyone's clear on what just happened, yes? So now what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to copy down what I just wrote. I'm going to polish it a little bit to make it sound a little bit more cohesive. We've already explained the groups. So the first sentence is thesis, and you're explaining what topic you're discussing. Then we're going to talk about governments wanted to earn public support support, so they implemented. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hi. What? I froze. Okay. That's not what I'm knowing, but yes. Okay, I messed up. I need to, you're going to scratch out exactly what I just wrote. Just the last bit, just the last sentence. One of the most important things that I forgot to tell you, I can't believe I did it, but I did. I'm so sorry. It's really hard sitting up here, I promise, teaching all this crap and making stuff up. Okay, so as soon as you finish your thesis statement with the introduction to the group, you are going to write parentheses, docs, 471. You can put them in order. You can leave them out of order. I don't personally care. They'll figure it out. So as soon as you finish your first sentence, you are going to include your list of documents. Is everyone clear on that? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay? So as soon as you finish your thesis, your introduction, your thesis restate, and your introduction to the group, now we're going to explain the group. Governments wanted to earn public support in order to gain more power. I don't know why you keep doing this. Stop it. More power and more control. More control over their subjects. Technology was used by both empires in order. Technology was used by both empires in order to achieve this goal. Perfect. There we go. So, what we've done, we've restated the prompt. We talked about what group we're going to be talking about. Then we listed our documents. Oopsies. Then we explained what our group is. Is everyone clear? Hopefully you noticed we just literally copied everything down we had in our little grouping. Okay? Now we have to start talking about our group, our docs. Okay? So, what document do you want to start off with first? 4. Okay, let's look at 4. Everyone open up their packet and let's look at 4. Okay. In document, what is document 4? You can give me a brief summary of what's happening in document 4. Come on. Cheyenne?
They're talking about how great the government is and how they take care of their people and provide for them.
There you go. Okay. Document 4, I hope you know that I'm citing exactly what, shows how important technology is to governments by creating propaganda, creating state-run propaganda, showing contributions of Chinese officials. Ladies and gentlemen, did I quote the document? Did I specifically mention any part of the document? No. What I did is that I just told them that this is propaganda. Okay? That is an explanation of what this document is. Is it a summary? Did I go ahead and say that this guy was a really great guy and created a No. If you summarize the document, you score nothing. I just said that they were creating state-run propaganda showing the contributions of Chinese officials. That will score me a point. Do you understand the difference between summarizing and what I just did? Okay? So, here we go. It's this, the goal of Doc 4 is to show that the government is providing and cares for its people in order to preserve their position of power ruling China. Now, is there any outside evidence we can use to support this? Ladies and gentlemen, do you have anything, Ayla? Yeah. You can't, now once you use it once, you can't use it again. Okay? We can use it. The mandate of heaven. Created by the Zhao. Creates a justification for rule. For ruling when the gods favor the empire the dynasty, just kidding. The dynasty, but justify overthrowing a dynasty when they are no longer fulfilling their responsibilities. Okay? And if we are going to do context, eventually the Han will fall. The Han will be overthrown. By the what? Hello? Yellow Turban Rebellion. Where the masses overthrew due to poor management and poor management. Why else did it happen? Oh, and what's it called when you can't eat?
Socioeconomic.
No, famines. Thank you. And famines. Due to poor management and famines.
Do you have to do this for every single document, or is it just one?
Nope. One for every. No. You only need 2 pieces of outside evidence.
So our 2 pieces are the mandate of heaven and the
Yeah. Outside evidence, yeah. So we already just knocked them 2 out. So you only need 2 pieces of outside evidence for every paragraph. Does that make sense? However, every document needs to be discussed. So what document am I talking about now? We just did 4. 7. Fine. So flip to 7. Here we go. Who can summarize document 7 for? Who can give me a brief summary on 7? Sam. Matthew.
All the aqueducts in Rome provide so much water that they can use it for enjoyment rather than just survival.
Perfect. Document 7 shows Rome's implementation of aqueducts, a new technology into Roman life. Okay. So I just introduced my document. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. There are times where I have to summarize the document for myself so then I can jump into the parts I need. Does that make sense? Right now, everything I wrote right here is not going to score a damn point. It's a summary. No points been scored. However, every other sentence I've written has scored points. However, in my head, it makes sense sometimes that I have to summarize something and then I can point out other things. Is that clear? So, if you have to summarize in order to jump off and then go ahead and earn some points, fine. However, do not summarize and think I didn't get a damn point for anything I just wrote. So I just wasted, 30 seconds of my life writing that? Doesn't score it. But if it allows me to clear my head and then get into what I have to, then it's fine. Is everyone clear on that? Okay, so document 7 shows Rome's implementation of aqueducts, a new technology into Roman life. These aqueducts allowed Roman beliefs of opulence and grandiose in grandiose scale to thrive and perpetuate a culture of wealth and separation from non-Romans. Yeah, hold on. Of non-Romans. Use of technology. Okay. The aqueducts allowed Roman beliefs of opulence and grandiose scale to thrive and perpetuate the culture of wealth and separation from non-Romans. The use of technology allowed a larger separation of economic scale to arise and promote Roman excellence. The goal of the aqueducts was to promote both growth of city and growth of cultural superiority. Perfect. Boom. Perfect. So, I already have 2 pieces of evidence for this. Remember, I got a little wild talking about my yellow turbans, then talking about my mandate of heaven. So, do I need to include any outside evidence? No. So, I've caught. Now, at the top of my page, which I should have done immediately, but I'm getting into this too. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I doing? I'm crossing them off as soon as I finish. So I've already finished 4, and I just finished 7, correct? So by the time I finish my essay, all of these should be crossed off. Okay? So here we go. Document 1. Doc 1. Flipping to Doc 1. Bureaucrat dealing with flood prevention. Here we go. Document 1 shows the Han utilizing technology to benefit both government security and lives of its citizens. The government's investment into new technological safeguards show the impact of the mandate of heaven on the government's conscience. Technology is being used to safeguard, to promote both goals of citizens and bureaucrat. Perfect. Okay, so now I finished my document. I scored my points. I talked about the biggest components of it. Now, what I have to do is contextualization. Okay, so I have to tie this. Remember, our grouping here is talking about attitudes towards technology vary to the degree of the government involvement. Where can we come up with technology that the government supported? Okay, and an example that we got to cross off one because we just did one, right? There we go. Okay, governments have continued to support advancing technology throughout history. A recent example is the United States government creating the space program, sure. In the 1960s to compete and safeguard American lives during the Cold War. By the way, you are writing 2 paragraphs tonight. Are you excited? I hope that you see this is a lot of work. This is your contextualization, by the way. All right. We are done with that paragraph. So you are starting on paragraph 2. Are we having fun yet? We love DBQs. You'll get better at them. It's just that it's going to take you a while tonight. Thank you, my love. Goodbye. Have fun.
How long do you think it'll take us?
Probably about an hour.
What?
Hour and 20 minutes.
An hour.
Mongoy, if you do this in less than 30 minutes, what you're writing is shit.
No, I thought it was going to be more.
I know. It should take you about an hour and a half. If you're doing it in less than half an hour, what you're writing is complete dog shit. And you are literally just copying and you are not even writing. Like, you're not doing any synthesis. You're not including. Bye!
So we don't need a conclusion for it?
No, you don't. If you have time and you really want to write when you can, but I am not looking for it tomorrow.